You keep calling this a business / money-making revenue thing, and it's not.
Not yet. We'll be billionaires one day.
I don't know from what, but it's not this.
Well, that's fair. That's also fair.
Yeah, I don't know from what we're gonna be billionaires from, but it is not this unless everybody starts listening to us, which you should.
I'm looking at... Are you recording already? Damn. You are. Okay.
What? No.
You should do it like a...
A what? I don't understand. Christ. All right, we getting down to business or what?
Yeah, we can.
Is it fucking time or what? It is. Wait, it's 11:59. Not time
Oh,
yet.
we have to wait.
We do.
Down.
We do.
Gotta
We do.
wait until none. None. Because that's what we said we were gonna record.
Yep.
Have to wait till
waiting.
none.
I hate you so much. Welcome back to Boozed and Review.
It's only 11:59 here.
Oh, well, the time difference here. My clock is fast. Oh, this still says 11:59.
Yeah, it's just
Okay. Wait.
no, you
Welcome back to episode 13. It's 12 o'clock now, baby.
Welcome back. This is Boosted Reviewed.
Your
Chaos!
monthly shit show chaos.
Here we are.
Idiots. Here we are, episode 13.
Hello. Welcome. Welcome to the chaos.
Are you in a beauty pageant now? What are you doing? Oh, I don't really like that only 2 of your teeth are showing, but...
Alright. Alright. How are you? Morning.
I'm tired. I'm tired. It's only 12. It's fine.
Fine.
I'm tired. How are you?
Being myself, doing my thing.
Oh,
I played a few games of Fortnite.
nice.
Yeah. Oh well. Not really.
Interesting. What are you doing this afternoon?
Mike and I are gonna go outside and play catch.
So that sounds stupid.
But,
Excuse me, did I say that out loud?
and then I don't know what else. We had a book club meeting.
Oh, your book club meeting. Yeah, that's today, isn't
You
it?
do not have to join if you do.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll see. I'll
Yeah.
see, because I feel like I might get ripped to shreds,
Yeah, if you don't want to, no worries.
if I'm honest. But we'll see. I'll let you know though.
That's good. Then
What the
Mike's
fuck is up, you know?
What the fuck is up?
I'm so sorry I cut you off.
They're fine. I was gonna say Mike's.
What the fuck is up?
What the fuck is up with Morgan and Danielle?
Okay.
Nothing. Up there.
Nothing.
I bought $30 alcohol for us to try, so that's fucking cool.
Nice segue.
Thank
You
you.
want to share the alcohol so we can taste
Yeah,
test?
it's called Margaritaville Tropical Punch. And you know what? I looked at it and said, oh, I think I'll like this. And I went up to the cash register and scanned it, and it was $30!
It's the glass bottle though,
Yeah,
so you have
yeah.
3 flavors.
Yeah, there's Tropical Punch, Mango, Peach, Paradise. They're all tropical points, by the way. And then there's Strawberry Daiquiri and Beach Breezy, which is, I want to read these because this sounds good. It is
Oh, yeah.
passion fruit, pineapple, and orange, which I think I'm going to like that one the best, but we shall see.
Which one would you like to try first?
You can choose.
I think I will like the mango peach one, so I want to wait on that. Let's do strawberry daiquiri.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the least.
Oh, that's a twisty. Oh, that smells very sweet. Oh, you're just going for it.
That's good.
Uh-oh.
I also brush
Okay.
my teeth, so
It smells.
it smells very strawberry.
Yeah.
Oh, you can twist the tops back on. Let's fucking go.
If a top twists off, it will twist back on.
That is fair.
I don't know how I feel about this. Like, it's not bad, but
It's not the best. Yeah. Like,
I've had better strawberry daiquiris.
yeah, strawberry daiquiri thing.
Also, it's like this. I don't want to like fucking, you know.
Yeah, I feel that.
If that's not a clip, I'll be really sad.
I'm doing pink.
Okay, I gotta twist this back on. Will you fucking wait for me? God damn.
That's had an interesting. Sorry.
I don't know how to twist this back
I'm
on.
like,
but you're-
like having a eternally salty moment. Spent $30. It didn't fucking.
It's okay. I'll spend
Very good.
$30 next time. Okay,
Oh,
you smell
do
this
not.
one?
Please do not. If you do, I will be so mad.
I
It's
don't
got
like
a
this
weird smell. I'm trying to figure out what it smells like. Very lemony.
This is good.
Oh yeah, that's good. That
Mhm.
one's really good. What that smells like and bug me.
Just fucking.
Hey, do you want to try these? Well,
They're not
we're not
farts
done
this
yet.
time.
We're not done yet.
Fucking twist this bitch back on.
Yeah, you can twist them. Alrighty.
Fucking cap is stupid.
Can I cheers you?
Yeah, whenever I have to get my cap. All right, ASMR.
It is fine, yeah.
I'm sorry. Holy Christ! There we go.
Get it?
Finally, yeah.
Take it.
Ooh, okay.
Boink. Oh, that's good.
That is good.
They're just
More
like
peach than mango.
yes. Yeah.
I'm gonna spend the next 45 minutes trying to get this goddamn cap back on. I would
Are they
say
too sweet for you?
that they're good. They're the equivalent of like a Seagram's though.
Yeah, they're very similar to a Seagram. I
Which-
think Seagrams taste better.
And they're cheaper.
And they're cheaper. Yeah.
I don't think that these are worth $30, however.
Hell no.
Okay, you know what?
Don't really go back on very well.
Well, I don't want them to be like not on properly, and that's why I'm fucking around.
Benefits is that top screws back on. Grape.
Maybe that's what you pay $30 for.
The screw top, yeah.
Ow. God. Whatever. I'll try. Yeah, not right now. Fucking condensations on my hands.
They're just okay.
They are just okay.
They're nothing to they're nothing to go home cry home about.
I'm so sorry.
I liked it. I liked it.
Holy hell.
Oh my gosh. Whatever, it's fine.
No, that felt really good to get out, and then your face was just.
I didn't expect it.
I didn't expect it either.
Great.
No wonder we only have 4 listeners.
Good. For dedication.
They don't scare easily, I guess.
Guess not. Thank God. I mean, we're only going up from here, right?
We can still go down.
Anyway.
So what do you think? What would you rate them? Out of what, 5 or 10?
Oh, let's do
No,
5.
it's out of 10.
Okay, let's do it at 10. 5. They're just okay. And they're fucking $30.
Yeah, since I didn't have to pay for them, I think that's why I'm like 6. But if I had to pay for them, I would agree 5.
Yeah, if they weren't that expensive, sure. But I would say get Seagrams. They taste better and they're cheap.
Yes. Yes.
So they're not worth the price. And they're just okay. Sorry, Margaritaville. I will drink them since I have them, but
Not gonna buy them
Okay.
again though.
Yeah, I'm not gonna buy those, which is fine. So yeah, if you guys like really sweet drinks, and they're not very like they're more of like a juice rather than a seltzer. So if you're not into seltzers, this could be another option.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that I see. But
I need to burp again. I didn't want to do that right into the fucking
I
microphone.
wanted you to. Dang. Whatever. So that's our drink.
Yeah, not bad, not bad.
Okay, what did you think? Do you have anything else to about it?
No, I don't think so. I'll let you know if I have another burp coming though.
Let it rip.
I will.
Okay, good.
I will.
Just okay.
So
Sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say how when we like a alcohol, one of us finished at the end of the episode.
Yeah, and all the caps are back on, so it's also 12 o'clock on a Sunday. I don't really feel like
I
getting
do not want to get absolutely muscle
shit-faced.
smacked.
Muscle smacked. I need water. Actually, let me put this over here.
You're gonna be okay.
No. Thank you for asking.
I just wanted to make
While I die, do you want to talk about the books that you read?
sure. Sure.
Tell me the books. Tell me the books.
I read a lot this month, and ended up a solid amount, which was I like snuck in a book yesterday. So read Acts of Violet by Margaritaville. And then I read Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. Heatwave by TJ Klune, which was an ARC. The Measure by Nikki Ehrlich. That's how you say her last name. And The Ugly Cry by Danielle Henderson. And I Still Remember by our friend Cate. I finally got to read that.
Yes.
Yes. So,
What did you rate them all?
Okay, so I gave Acts of Violet 3.54. It was good. It was really good. I read only 2 5s this month, but
That's okay.
they were so good. Red, White, and Royal Blue. So people love that book. And they're not lying, it's so good. It's so funny and it's really happy. Like, I don't know. You liked One Last Stop when you were
Yeah, it was okay. I think I gave it a 4.
Yeah, this one is I like One Last Stop, but this one's really, really. It's got
Which one came out first?
Red, White, and Royal Blue.
Okay.
Yeah, this was her debut. I could be wrong, but I think this was when she popped off. And
Fair.
it's super good. It's about the first son of the president, and the Prince of England falling in love. It's a really cute, and it's funny. The dialogue's really funny, and it's interesting to see how she wrote what the first son does and the Prince of England does in their free time, and how their lives look out behind tabloid cameras and all this stuff and events that they have to do. It's kind of interesting. And it's just then Heatwave I gave a 5, and that's the 3rd book in the Extraordinary series. And he so the characters age. He ages the writing throughout the book. With it, so this book is way more mature and it's a lot more twisty and the history to it, and it's really good. I liked it a lot, and it's my favorite book out of the whole. So
yeah, because the last time we recorded, you said that you liked this series, but they were just 3s and 3.5s, 4s for you.
They weren't anything. But this one, he wrote this one, and he definitely gave it a little. I mean, not that the other two were I liked the first one because it introduces the story and the characters, and they're wholesome, and I just the whole the character dynamic between the dad and the son. And then like the second one's like more about like how Nick becomes a superhero, and then it kind of like talks about how like anybody can be extraordinary. You don't have to have superpowers. So I don't know. It's
Yeah.
and then this third one goes really deep dive into like them being extraordinaries together, and like sexual like mystery, and like something happens and you're like, wait, what? And then it's really good. And I think that if you've read those two, you have to get this third one that just came out, because holy heck, it's so good.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. Is this the last one? I'm sorry if you already said that.
Yes, last one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He rounded out really nice.
Good.
Yeah, so
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
me too. I was like nervous going into it because I was like, I've only been like just like, okay, it was good. I'm glad I read these. This one I'm like so happy. Oh, he killed it. Killed it. And then Cate's book was so good. Her short stories were so good.
I loved the ending. So
Yeah.
when I was reading it, the first one, because I was like, oh, it's a bunch of different short stories grouped together. So after the first one ended, I was like, oh, that ended kind of abruptly.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. Like, I'm going to read into the next one. And then I was like, oh, they're in the same world. Okay, this is kind of cool. Like, maybe she's going to branch off of these stories. And these are just short stories that she's working with to maybe make them bigger stories in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And then at one point, I was like, I looked back to look at the names because I was like, something's not adding up. Something is like in here and I can't figure it out.
Yeah.
But then I went back at the very, very end and I literally laughed out loud because I was like, Cate, you motherfucker. You got me. Like, you really did. I was blown away by this book. I texted her and I was like, I swear to you, I'm not just saying this because you're my friend. I truthfully like was blown away.
Yeah, I literally was like, I messaged her. I was like, Cate, those stories were so good. And she's like, did you get the ending? I'm like, yeah, I got the ending, you wiener. And then she was like, yeah, I was like kind of in a writer's block when I wrote. So I'm like, bitch, when you're not in a writer's block and you write your full ass book, you're gonna be a New York Times bestseller. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I was
so it was just really good. I made Josh read it too.
Yeah, it's so good. I was like, this is banana pancake.
Yeah. It was very good. I was very impressed.
Me too. I was like, this is so good. Yeah, she's so good, and I can't wait until she like releases like a full book one day, because it's gonna be so good.
Or if she takes that and just expands it even farther.
Yeah, and just like it makes it like
somehow
a full thing. That was a good book.
It was good. Yeah.
It was so good. I'll put the link. I don't know if she has it on Kindle, yeah?
Yes, it's on Kindle, and I think she was telling me that she's working on reprinting, but she was on vacation and then I think she got sick or something happened, or maybe the publisher somebody got sick. So it's been a little bit of a pushback, but she is looking to restock like the physical copy.
Yeah, the copies. So I will put the link in the YouTube. So if you want to get the Kindle version, get the Kindle version. Read it.
Very much worth it.
It is very worth it. It is one of the best short stories.
Yeah. It was like I was sleeping on it because it was on my dining room table and I was like, oh, I'll read it eventually. And then I brought it to work with me one day and I had like 20 minutes. I was like, I'll start it. And then I finished it in 15 minutes and I was like, just because it was like very short stories, and then the writing font was big, and then it was a quick read.
Yeah, but it was so good.
It was still so good.
Yeah. I can't. Yeah, I literally cannot. The point where she can write a full book, publish that, and get it out into the world.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a rock star.
It was so good.
And she's like, how old is she? Young.
20.
Yeah, she's like, I know she's a little bit younger than us.
I could be wrong. She's probably older. I think she just graduated college, so not 20.
Oh, yeah, like 22, 23. Whatever. She's a little bit younger than us, but gonna crush it. So yeah.
So you know how some people have like their ages in their book
Yeah.
bio? So I'm checking to see if she does, and she doesn't, but she has her goal of like books read, and I just saw a number and I was about to shout it out to be like, oh, but the number is 52.
She
Like,
looks
that's not right.
She looks good for 52. Damn.
But yeah, she just graduated college, so around
Yeah.
whatever age you'd be when you
22.
graduate college.
I'm not gonna talk about Axe of Violet because we're doing Margarita some more.
I'm so excited. I'm so nervous.
We'll be fine. She's gonna be great. It's gonna be a good time. We have a lot of questions.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I'm not gonna talk about that because I'm sure she'll give a synopsis of the book.
Yeah.
Talk about it herself. If questions about it. There's that, and then everything else. Oh.
I did not have a great reading month. So I listened to We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. I have the physical book. I actually bought the physical book from Mariah.
Mhm.
And I understand why she sold it.
Oh, wait, like, okay, I have it too. And it concerns me.
So I gave it a 3. It is YA, which I knew
Right.
going into it. I listened to the audiobook, and I'll be honest with you, the twist at the end was good. That's why I gave it a 3.
Oh, everything else was just.
It was very all over the place. Like and these are not spoilers, but I have it in my to sell pile. So if anybody does want it, I texted Mariah afterwards and I was like, so I finished We Were Liars, and she was like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, I understand. And she texted me, one of the things she texted me was, did you know what the fuck was going on?
Oh.
So it was very all over the place. It was YA from a point of view of the main character, and she had a very active imagination, so she would just like dive right into like fairy tale stories.
Interesting. Okay.
And I don't know if they were related, like if she was telling fairy tale stories about herself. I don't know.
Interesting. That's on my
So
dark art.
maybe push it down a little bit.
Okay.
If and when you read it and you understand what's going on, I would actually love to talk about it because I really wanted to know what was going on.
Yeah.
But
You're just like, the fuck.
it was a very confusing middle, and then the ending made sense from like what was going on. But I was looking at reviews from everybody else on Goodreads to be like, does anybody else know what the fuck is going on? Like, did I just miss something? Because that's possible.
Yeah.
And I did see somewhere that one of the comments was the author before the published copy, the author had a chunk in the very beginning, like explaining a lot, or at the end or something, of like why
This was like the way that
certain things were happening, and then it just got removed in the published copy. I don't know why. I have no idea, but I don't know. It was not my cup of tea. I also listened to it too. Maybe it would have been different if I read it.
physically read it, yeah.
But it wasn't good for me. I didn't like it. I did give it a 3, but like I said, I gave it a 3 because the end twist, I was just like, okay, that makes sense. Like that's kind of a good twist. So there's that. I buddy read A History of Wild Places by, is it Shia or Shay?
I thought it was
Earnshaw.
Shay. Yeah.
Okay, I'll go with Shay Earnshaw. I gave that a 3.5. I buddy read that with Kelsey, and I'm not kidding you when I say that was the most relaxed buddy read of my life. And I'm not shading anybody, Victoria. Thank you very much. But I was like, okay, so how do you want to break it up? She had posted on her story, like, I have all these books. Does anybody want to buddy read? And I saw History of Wild Places, and that's when I borrowed your copy. And I was like, okay, I'll buddy read if you want. And I was like, how do you want to break it up? And she was like, I'm going to be honest. I'm a really relaxed buddy reader. I don't want to have any pressure. So why don't we just tell each other what page we're on, and then we'll talk about it as long as we're at the same page. And we ended up finishing it. Like, I think she finished it ahead of me, but either the same day or like a day earlier.
Oh, okay.
So that gave me like the motivation to be like, oh, well, Kelsey's ahead. Like, I want to read more. Versus like, oh, I have to read 50 pages today. Yeah.
I have to get
It was a good story. I gave it a 3.5. I wish we got more. It was like a very interesting plot. I was hooked.
Yeah.
I wanted to know what was going on. Spoiler incoming. The fact that Theo and Travis were the same person, I was kind of annoyed at that.
Yeah,
it made sense.
You texted me about the like mistake, and I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, also, that mistake was in there, and afterwards I was like, I wonder if she wrote that in there for herself.
And it didn't get fixed.
And it needed to get fixed, but it didn't. But like, she had that in there for a reminder to her that these guys in the future were going to be the same person.
Yeah, and I'm also wondering if it was intentionally there as like a hint.
It wasn't in Kelsey's copy.
Oh yeah, I forgot you said that. Yeah.
Because I was reading ahead of her, and I stopped. That was like the end of a chapter. I stopped there and I was like, okay, what page are you on? I want to talk about something. I think I just found a mistake. And I was like, it's on this page. And she texted me later and was like, okay, I have scanned this page so many times. What mistake are you talking about? Like, am I just stupid and I can't find it? And I was like, I feel like it was pretty obvious, but okay, like, here. And I told her, and she was like, no, my copy doesn't say that.
Oh, so yeah, it wasn't fixed.
She is also in Canada, so I wonder if that makes a difference. But yeah, her copy didn't say that.
Interesting. Yeah, their copy came update my.
And they fixed it, maybe.
Yeah. Interesting.
But
also, sorry.
No, you're fine. No, you're fine. Go
I'm
ahead.
wondering if that was a early on book of the month.
Maybe, because I messaged you and Lauren the same thing, and Lauren messaged me back and said that she caught it too when she was reading it. And she was like, what the hell? I'm curious though, is this the book that you almost spoiled for Cate?
Yep.
How did you almost spoil it? I'm curious.
So she didn't tell me she's almost not done with the book. So I was like texting her, messaging her. She was like, yeah, like, that's the one character's talking and said the different name. And she's like, did you notice that? And I said, oh yeah, my friend noticed that. I was talking about Lauren, because Lauren and I just specifically talked about that. And like, she didn't say she finished the book yet, so I almost friggin' ruined it for her. And I was like, oh yeah,
like being the same person?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
It was all right. I wish we got more information about like the hypnosis part, because it was just like there, and it did explain, and like it explained why they were under this trance and like why nobody. It explained that part.
Yeah.
That's all we got.
Oh.
And I didn't love that. And then the ending when they got out and then they were like, I really want to go back to my life. I really want to go back to my life. The hypnosis part is over.
Mhm.
And they're like, no, my name is Theo. I'm not Travis. If the hypnosis part was over, you would go back to reverting to
your normal self. Yeah.
Right. And then they were like, yeah, we want to go back. And I was like, you haven't even been out for 24 hours. Like, they went and had like dinner with her mom or her family. And then they went back to the hotel and they were like, yeah, I want to go back.
Yeah. That was a little weird. Ending was.
But
I can concur with that. I just really liked that. When I read it, I liked that the whole twist of them being the same people.
yeah, it was it was not a bad twist. It was kind of annoying to me, but it wasn't bad. It was definitely a different kind of read. Like, it's not
Yeah.
a plot that's overdone, so, like, it was kind of cool. I think I just wish we got a little bit more and the ending wasn't as abrupt.
Yeah, like it could have gone, like it could have explored, like
Yeah.
they could have spent more time out in that real world and then gone back.
If that was the case and they spent, like, even just, like, a week and they were like, "Listen, it's kinda hard. I don't know if I wanna go back." Not even 24 hours.
Yeah, and like I get where you're coming from. That makes sense.
It wasn't bad, though. I was, like, hooked on reading it. It was
It definitely
very
does.
addicting.
Yeah, it definitely does hook you. Like he's a very good writer. But yeah, I was gonna say
Okay. Overall, it was good. So, did I give that back to you already?
you
Okay.
did it, it's fine.
Okay.
I see you every week.
Yeah, now you see me every week, so. I read The Measure, obviously, and the last book that I'm not gonna go too in on because you want to read it, was The Great Alone by Kristin Hannah, which I think I've decided on a 4.5. So, this is my second Kristin Hannah. I also listened to this, and I will eventually physically read one of her books,
Who
but
real quick, before you go on. Who narrates this? The Julia Whalen?
yeah. I think she narrates a lot of Kristin Hannah books.
Yeah, that makes sense.
She's a popular, like, audiobook narrator anyway, but
He does a lot
as soon as I heard her voice, I was like, "Yep, borrow."
yeah, I was gonna say I think she does a lot of the big name authors.
Mhm.
Does Taylor Jenkins Reid?
Mhm.
She has her own
She
book coming out.
I know. I don't know how she would be as an author, but I'll probably give it a try.
And only good things.
That's good. I got this one on Libby because I was like, "You know what? I want another Kristin Hannah book." And I wanted to listen to it because I wanted, like, something to listen to on a drive, at work, whatever. And so it is not what, like, I was thinking as I was reading this is not what Danielle thinks it is.
Yeah, you said that to me, and I think I'm gonna reread because I'm gonna read all of these books because I own them.
Yes, of
I'm
course.
gonna reread through the synopsis of the ones that I have and decide which one. Because I have to read. My goal is to read one Kristin here, whatever that one is.
You can suggest it in Mariah's book club like I did, and then you have to read it. Shout out to Gamers That Read.
Yeah.
I threw in a suggestion to read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue so I could get my goal done, and that's the book we're reading for September, or for August.
Listen, that's a good way to read a book that you are unsure if you're like, because
Then I can read it with everybody else.
and it motivates you. Yeah, I'm double motivating myself for that one and reading.
Yes.
So that'll make it a little bit more tolerable.
If your Kristin Hannah book that you decide on is a book that I have not read yet, I will buddy read with you.
Oh, okay.
So if that makes it a little bit easier too. But it was good. I really, 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 really enjoyed it. I was talking with Jamie about there was, like, a certain part at the end that both of us weren't too crazy about, and I think that's why I gave it a 4.5.
Oh, okay.
But it's about a family who just, like, picks up and moves to Alaska. It's a mom, dad, and daughter. I cannot remember their names right at this moment, but they pick up and move to Alaska, and nobody wants to move there except for the dad because he, like, thinks it's going to be their place that they're going to live at. And they get there, they all fall in love with it, and the dad is very, very, very abusive. So when they meet this, like, hotshot guy in town and mom's, like, talking to him a little too much, dad gets pissed off, and then the daughter meets the hotshot guy's son, and they become best friends, and you see them progressively, like, growing up, and then something traumatic, well, a lot of things traumatic happen in this book, but the first traumatic thing happens, and then it kind of, like, shapes a lot of the future,
Mhm.
I guess. and then it just kind of goes off from there. But you were like, yeah, it's a book about Alaska and hiking. And I was reading this and I was like, no, it's not. No, it's not. It was very good though. I just think for people who pay attention to trigger warnings, there's a lot of domestic violence in this book. There is not just one singular incident. I said that dad was abusive, so you can kind of put two and two together. It is a very prominent theme in this book, so just take that into consideration. There is death in this book. There is all different kinds of trauma. So keep that in mind if you're thinking of picking up this book or reading this book, whatever. I did love listening to it. Again, Julia Whelan is
She's the queen.
amazing.
She's
Yes.
the queen.
So with that being said, I don't want to spoil anything. I think you will enjoy it, but
Yeah, that one might be a pause one just because I recently read a book with domestic violence. The stepdad was very violent, and it was really hard for me to might not read that. I mean, I'm gonna read it, but like that might be one that I not
prepare
read
yourself
until
for.
later.
Yeah.
That was a lot for me. I was really struggling.
Yeah.
I almost DNF'd it because I was like, this is like a lot to read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's totally okay. I just think if it's like a one-time thing, I think it's just worth mentioning just to be like, hey, this is like a traumatic part in the book, but like it's a good chunk of the book.
Yeah. That one, I might reread all of the synopsis. You have True Colors too, don't you?
Josh's mom borrowed that from me.
Okay.
But I own that one, and then I have your copy of The Nightingale, but I can always get my own copy and we can buddy read.
Okay, yeah. I'll let you know. We can figure that one out. Also,
Okay.
you do have your own pick for October.
Oh, for my birthday.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe I'll see if there's any good books that I'm excited for coming out in October, and we'll see.
Okay. But yeah, just a thought.
But yeah, I have enjoyed it. She does have a theme with her books that I don't want to give away or say anything yet, but I haven't been able to talk to anybody about it because I don't think Jamie has read The Four Winds, and then Mariah read The Four Winds, and I don't know if Mariah read The Great Alone.
You should find somebody who is like a really big Kristin Hannah fan and follow them. Don't go in aggressively, but like, because I would, and that usually doesn't go well. Follow her, like her stuff. There, it could be a man too. And just eventually be like, hey, so I like Kristin
I've
Hannah.
only read 2 of her books, so it could just be in those 2 books
Oh, okay.
that it happened, but something very similar in The Four Winds happened in The Great Alone, and I was like, okay, well, this is going to be the next plot twist, and it was.
Oh, okay. You're listening to Nightingale, or did you try to listen?
I tried to, but it was very close after I read or listened to The Four Winds, so I wanted to take a break.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Of Kristin Hannah, just because I didn't want to because I really loved The Four Winds.
Got it.
And I didn't want to be like, oh my god, I love all of her books, read them all, and then like get sick of it.
Yeah, and like if you really like her stuff, it's like a good like way but she has a lot. She has a lot of books.
Does.
She has a ton.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
Like that's what I feel like I'm doing with Taylor Jenkins. So I have like a frig load of things. I have all her book backlist, but I love Taylor.
Yeah. And I think also I was going to say something. I don't remember what it was.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it wasn't. I just left my mind. About reading her stuff. I think also I again did enjoy The Great Alone. The Four Winds, I'm also wondering if that's going to be like my favorite book of hers because it's the first book that I read.
You read of hers, yeah.
That was like my first introduction to Kristin Hannah.
That's a good thought because like I read Seven Husbands by Taylor Jenkins, my favorite of her.
It's like your first introduction to this whole world essentially, yeah. But for that, I still would highly suggest it. I think just paying attention to the trigger warnings is important. And I do want to bring up one more thing really quickly. I wanted to write this down and it literally just popped into my mind. We went to go see Where the Crawdads Sing.
Oh, yes. This is important
And
things.
that is like an all-time favorite movie of mine now.
I need to go see it. Ah.
I was sitting in the theater. It is very much like the book. I don't think they left anything out.
Okay, that's good. That's what I was worried about. And I didn't think Reese Witherspoon would do anything like to change the book. 'Cause I know she loved the book and she made it her book club book, and like she was a producer on it. So I'm like, she has to make this good.
She did that book justice. And I was sitting there. So I went with Josh and his mom. And we're sitting in the theater. And I'm going to go down a rabbit hole for a second. But I know I texted you this and I sounded like a wiener saying it. But I was sitting in the theater and then Where the Crawdads Sing popped up and the music started. And I fucking started crying.
My God.
And I was like, oh my God, this is actually happening. Like, you just get so excited seeing a book become a movie and you just hope that it doesn't suck.
Yeah.
A book that was like a top book for me in 2020, 2021.
That's when you started to get back into reading.
And I forced Josh's mom to read it. I forced you to read it.
Yep.
I forced Josh to. So I was like, please don't suck. Please don't suck. And by the end, the credits started rolling and I'm sitting there ugly crying. And Josh is like, what is the matter? And I was like, it was just so good. It was so good. I was so happy. Like, it was, I have tears in my eyes right now. Look at my eyes. It was so good. It was so good. That's all I need to say because I don't want to like ruin it. But they did not leave anything important out. I think the casting was beautiful.
So good.
Yes. Jumpin's wife, Riot. I love her so much.
Yeah. I'm hoping I'm sure it'll stay in theaters, but hoping to go home and after I go on vacation, go see my mom. Hopefully we can like fit that in because I know she loved that book a lot and I'm like, I want to see it with my mom. So we'll see. Life is crazy. I want to see it so bad. And then if I don't end up seeing it, as soon as it hits, watch it.
If you don't fit it in with your mom and you come back and it's still in theaters, I will go and see it with you.
Okay.
I would love to see that movie again.
Okay.
And I know you're not a crazy Taylor Swift fan, but Taylor Swift made a song just for this.
Yeah, I did see that.
And they used it. It was, of course, the credits song, too. So as I'm, like, bawling, I'm like, oh, my God.
It's Taylor Swift.
I take back what I said. They did change one thing about, well, I don't know if I want to say it. They changed one thing, but they tweaked it in a way that is possible.
Okay.
I don't want to, yeah.
Oh, well, I'll see it.
We could talk about it after, but...
Yeah.
I just wanted to throw that in there. Anybody who has seen and loved Where the Crawdads Sing, the movie was...
I see a lot of people reading that book this month so that they... Which I highly, you have to read the book before you have to. It's so good. The book is just so freaking good.
It is. And Tate kind of looks like Philip Phillips a little bit, which I love Philip Phillips. Do you know who that is or no?
The band, yeah? The artist? Oh.
Yes, the artist.
I don't even think I know what this...
Well, he was on American Idol, so that's how I know him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, he won American Idol a while ago. He kind of looks like him, like a younger version. Yeah. So as I'm watching this, I'm also like, Josh knows that I'm in love with Taylor Swift. Philip Phillips, Taylor Swift also, but Philip Phillips. So I'm sitting there and I like leaned over and I was like, he looks like Phil. Oh my God. Crazy. I'm sorry. I've been talking for so long. I wanted to just throw that
please don't
piece in
be
there.
Sorry. Right.
We had it on our calendars to go see it the weekend that it came out, and Josh's mom came out and we went to Barnes and Noble and we went to the movies. We went to dinner. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I want to go see it. I know you've been really, really, really excited to see it. The weekend you saw Where the Crawdads Sing, Mike and I went and saw Thor.
But I mean, I don't know if Mike would like the
I don't
movie.
think he would either.
I don't know if he, and it's not anything like.
No, I don't think he it's very. it's romance heavy, but like not at the same time.
Kate texted me and was like, I really want to go see the movie. I don't know if she's read the book, but she wanted to go see the movie. And she's like, do you think my boyfriend will like it? And I was like, yes and no, because it's focused a lot on the courtroom,
Yeah.
but then you get flashbacks. So like it's present day in the courtroom and then you get flashbacks and then you see everything, which
Right.
so good. They just added everything in except for the one thing that I'm talking about, but you'll understand after you see it.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my
I
rabbit
wanna-
hole.
Yeah, we'll have to plan that out.
Yeah. Or we just have a movie night if it's streaming.
That's fine. I'm done.
But moving forward, do you have anything else that you want to talk about before we go
Yeah,
into
I want
the
to talk
book
about.
synopsis?
We'll do it. No, let's talk
Oh.
about the book.
That could be an episode. I know what you want to talk about. That could be an episode.
I know.
Okay, add it to the list.
I ate.
All right. So this month we've read The Measure by Nikki Ehrlich. I'm gonna
I
say
think
Ehrlich.
it's Ehrlich.
That's what we're gonna say. I'm so sorry for mispronouncing it. So let me read
just
the
let us know.
the synopsis. Okay, I'm ready.
Start it.
Okay. 8 ordinary people, 1 extraordinary choice. It seems like any other day. You wake up, pour a cup of coffee, and head out. But today, when you open your front door, waiting for you is a small wooden box. This box holds your fate inside, the answer to the exact number of years you will live. From suburban doorsteps to desert tents, every person on every continent receives the same box. In an instant, the world is thrust into a collective frenzy. Where did these boxes come from? What do they mean? Is there truth to what they promise? As society comes together and pulls apart, everyone faces the same shocking choice. Do they wish to know how long they'll live? And if so, what will they do with that knowledge? The Measure charts the dawn of this new world through an unforgettable cast of characters whose decisions and fates interweave with one another. Best friends whose dreams are forever entwined. Pen pals finding refuge in the unknown. A couple who thought they didn't have to rush. A doctor who cannot save himself, and a politician whose box becomes the powder keg that ultimately changes everything. Dun, dun, dun. So, do you want to do what we did last time and do like a raise, or do you want to just say?
I do.
I'm so scared. Okay.
Okay.
You tell me when to start raising.
3.
Okay.
I'm gonna on go. 3.
On go. Okay.
On go. 3.
Slowly or quick? Sorry.
You can do it slowly. I don't care.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go. Yeah! Let's fucking go. I'm hyped.
I love this. I love this
It's
book.
so there's so much that's so freaking good about this book. So much. But I want you to go. I wrote so many fucking notes, Morgan. I don't know if you can see, but I wrote hella notes.
Here's the thing. I'm a good co-host, and I didn't read your notes.
Thank you.
I'm going to scroll, though. Now I'm going to scroll and see how much you wrote. Holy shit.
I wrote so much notes. I wrote so many notes. Because there's so many little things that make this, like, the plot so important, and it just, like, and there's, like, certain, like, little plot points that are, like, really, like, just make you think.
Okay. Where do you want to start?
I
just talked for a really long time, so I think you should start.
I was just gonna say that this book, like, the thing that made this book a 5 for me is that it rounded out so well. And it connected everyone together. And that's what made me really love this book. And, like, it gave me goosebumps. Like, the one part that gave me goosebumps that I want to really, like, talk about really bad is when Javier passed away, like, got shot and got passed away. He was holding
I was crying.
He was holding the card.
Yep.
And this is what the author wrote. He gripped it tightly in front of him, the card. The same card passed down from Gertrude to her lover. From Simon to his best friend, from Grandpa Cal to his grandson, from Jack onto him, even when he thought he didn't want it. That, I was like...
Goosebumps right now.
Goosebumps.
Yeah.
That shit was... I literally was like, wait.
Yeah.
But that's just one of the moments from that book that was like that. Just one. There's so many, like, Javier saves Hank's former lover.
Yes. Yep.
There's a ton of just random little moments that like that like are like that, and I'm like, it all rounded out.
They were all so intertwined, and I didn't read the entire synopsis. Like when I just read the bottom and they were all intertwined. I didn't, like, I created a notes sheet because I was like, oh my god, 8 people, this is gonna be so many characters, so many like extra people. But I think this is one of the things that I liked. She introduced all the characters in such an easy and cohesive way for it to be like, Nina, okay, Nina has a long string. Okay, Ben has a short string. Like, it was all so easy to follow, and then they all intertwined with each other. So yes, it was extra characters, like Leah, the person who was in the group and like gave birth to her brother's kids, like she cared for them. She was an extra character to remember, but she also was in Ben's story, Hank's story, Nina's story. Like, she was in everybody's everything.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So good. So good. And like, it wasn't like you think like 8 characters is a frick load, but it's not. Like, literally what you just said. She really wrote it well, and it wasn't confusing at all. Like,
and if you think about it, too, Nina and Maura are two of the 8, and they are in a relationship. So that was kind of easy. Ben was friends in the same group with Mara, so he overlapped. Jack and Javier were 2 other characters, but they were together. Who else? We had Hank.
Jack and Anthony.
I already said Jack, so Anthony,
Anthony
was a character, but he overlapped with Jack.
Yep, but Anthony and Catherine.
But she wasn't technically a character.
Yeah, I think Anthony's the only one that really had his own single. Because, well, let's see. I wrote them all down. So it's Ben, Nina, Mara, Anthony, Hank, Javier, Jack, Amy.
Oh, was Amy technically a character?
I think Amy, because Amy has her own chapters. I think that the people who have their own chapters are the ones that are the main.
So then you're right. Yeah, because Amy did have her own chapter. So Amy, who was Nina's sister.
Yeah.
So Nina and Mara overlapped, and then eventually Ben. And then the last one I didn't count, I think, was Hank.
Yeah.
And then
he
Hank
has his own chapters.
He has, but he was also connected to Ben, Mora.
Yeah, he like
all of them.
He like kind of had like an arc. Like, yeah, he was the one that kind of connected them in a way.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
So if you had to pick, who do you think your favorite character would be?
It's so
Anthony's
hard.
not a fucking option.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna say that right now.
In my notes, I literally wrote for under Anthony because I kind of summarized all of their whatever they were. I wrote the worst character. He was truly the worst. God, it's so hard to pick. Like, storyline wise, I like Ben. But somebody to put in my own shoes, and I like because I think that they made choices that I would make. I think I like Amy.
Okay, well they go together. So
those 2 I liked, and I liked Hank. So, I don't know. I would say my favorite is probably Ben. It's so hard because they're so all.
They are. I wrote down the characters, parentheses, except for Anthony, were also relatable, and I fell in love with each of their stories.
They're also, they have their all,
Jack, I think, had the most growth.
I agree. Yeah,
Jack had the most growth, for sure. I also think I would agree. If I had to pick, I think it would also be Ben. I also I liked Nina and Mara. I was trying to put myself in their shoes because they argued a lot. And I was like, okay, you guys are arguing about nothing. Like, this is kind of not annoying in a sense of like the reader. I was annoyed. I was annoyed from like a third person to be like, you guys have a limited amount of time together. Why are you going to spend it arguing? Like, I thought they were arguing over dumb things.
Yeah.
However, I don't know how I would have reacted in their shoes. So like, I liked them together as a whole because it kind like their relationship was a lot.
I think that, like, if she didn't include them being, like, arguing that, I think it wouldn't have, like, she, like, really did a really good job of, like, including a bunch of different ways that the strings could go. Like,
Yeah.
Nina and Mara both saw their strings, and that was the point of view you get from a couple who saw their strings have different lengths.
Mm-hmm.
Where we have Anthony and Catherine, who have the same strings, so we've got them. Then we've got Ben and Amy, who Amy hasn't seen her string. Ben has a short string. So it's like she has a bunch of different relationships.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that's a good.
yes, I liked that sense too. And like, you know what I really wish that happened? And I know that they're like Javier dies, but I wish that Javier and Jack had a relationship.
I knew that's what you were going to say as soon as you said that.
I wish that they fell in love.
I liked their friendship for what it was. I don't know how I would have felt if it turned into like
A relationship.
I mean, I wouldn't have disliked it,
Yeah.
but I liked the friendship aspect between them
Mhm.
because because you get the perspective, I guess, to go on of what you were saying, you get the perspective of not only a relationship, you get two friends
Exactly.
and how a friendship can be affected by the string.
Exactly. And like, and the same thing with like, we have the chapters with Nina and Amy, and that's sister relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Jesus
very
Christ. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, it's like she definitely, like, I'm telling you, and this is her debut novel. She freaking killed it. That's
She
like
did.
she really, and there's only two books that I've read that are debut novels that blown me away. This and Black Cake. That's her debut novel, and that book's killer.
Yeah.
So I didn't give it a 5. I think I gave it a 4.5, but not much different. So, but
yeah,
those two, this book's deep. It's deep.
I put on here, this book felt very John Mars-esque.
Yes. I was gonna write that in my review. I was literally gonna write, this is a book for people who love John Mars writing. And Black Mirror episode.
This gave me all the Passenger vibes.
Yes.
So that I really, really loved that the POV switch, the fact that all of the characters were related in some way, the fact that it was very like, if this happened tomorrow, for sure, everything that happened in this book would happen.
For sure.
Which is horrifying.
It's crazy. It's like, I literally, when I started reading this book, I thought, like, what would and these lead to my question, but I thought, what would I do in this shoe? And I was like, if I was in this situation, I was like, what would Mike do? So I asked Mike, and then I was like, I'm wondering what I just would love to see, like, people read this book and like what they would do. Would you open your box? Would you and your person open them together? Would you share your link? Would you? It's like so interesting. Like,
I think we might have the same questions.
Oh, I'm sure we do. Yay.
I put for favorite characters. I'm just looking at my notes now. I loved everyone except for Anthony. I wish he frickin' died.
Yeah, he's the worst. That character was,
he really was the worst.
Terrible. Ugh.
That would be 100% what would happen though in a presidential race.
Oh yeah, there would be somebody who runs with a string, and it would be a problem, and then the opponent, kind of jackass, would be like, "I have a long string. I'm gonna use it to benefit me." And one of my family members has a short string, and I respect that. But I also am gonna put a policy in that says short string people have to can't be in the army. can't go into active duty, but they
Mhm.
want to help serve our country, but you have a short string, so you can't. Like, yeah.
And I think one of the things too that Javier mentioned, also sorry for our listeners, we are just gonna jump around.
This is
Like
a
there's
book.
just
It's
we're
gonna be
jumping
this
around.
book.
One of the things that Javier mentioned, which I thought was actually like a good thing to note, well, not a good thing, but a thing to note, is that everybody who was in the military had a long string. So all these guys were like, I'm not going to die, so I'm just going to walk on over there. And then they'd be paralyzed, amputated, like, and then what?
Yeah, where do you go from there?
So all these guys got cocky and they were like, I'm not going to die. My string says I'm going to stay alive. And then they would just be jackasses and then stuff would happen. And then now what?
There's like, and then even outside the army, people who had long strings and they'd survive were just doing crazy things. They were just doing a bunch of hardcore drugs because they knew that they would survive, even though that there are counterproductive things that were going to happen. You could injure yourself for life. You're going to survive, but you're going to really hurt yourself. And then they, not even outside, it's outside of drugs. They did like skydiving, sharks. Like they did things that were riskier, even though they had long, like, because they knew that they were going to survive because they had the long string.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
One thing that I don't know if we'll dive deep on, but I really had to sit there for a second. And if you take, so in the short string, long string debate, if you take any worldly minority and put and put that in, so instead of short string, you put person of color,
long string, everybody else,
yes,
it's literally that.
It still is exactly the same to the world that we live in, which
it's literally that.
Horrifying.
Literally that. It's just, and it's so interesting. You have this world divided by short string, long string, but you also still have to be gay and have a short string. So your life is like smaller. Your choice, your like freedom and your choices that you can have are smaller. If you're a woman and you have a short string. You're black and have a short string. You're Asian American and have a short string. If you are even religion, same thing. Muslim, short string. I don't know.
Yeah, they made a point to be like same sex couples trying to adopt.
Same thing.
That's obviously still like it's difficult to do. Now you add in short string, long string, it just makes it even, like I think Mara at one point was like, it's not impossible, but it's definitely not easy.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, and she's black, so like she also is. She's like the character that has like short string, black, gay,
and a woman.
Yeah, and a woman.
Yep.
So, I was gonna say that this definitely introduces that in a way that, being the way I am, can step your feet into somebody else's shoes, lives that as a reality. Makes you think. So like, if I open my box, I have a short string, I'm in the minority. This is what people are feeling. They experience it every day of their lives. Really good.
It was very good. I was kind of like wondering if at the end of the book she was gonna like have a bonus chapter to be like, short string, long string was actually a term for this, and then now you go back and read the entire book and it's different.
I think
in the way that we're talking, to be like, oh, were you pissed off by this book? Now take it and put this instead of short string, and then that.
I think it kind of translates that way. Like, I think if you're somebody who reads like we do, you'll pick that up and read it like that.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Part of me was like, I wonder if this is going to be the ending. And I'm like kind of glad that it wasn't, just because this book in itself was just so good. And like you're saying, it might be better to infer it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just be like, this is what she meant.
Yeah, like you really put yourself in the shoes of some.
Nikki
So,
Ehrlich, if you want to be on our podcast, please let us know
yeah,
because we would love to talk about this book.
this would be a very deep conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be legitness.
That's
Yeah. There's another thing. Oh, this is outside of all that, but like, ex-wife went after her ex-husband for child custody because he had a short string, she had a long string, and said that she him so that her child's pain would be less because if she had full custody, her child wouldn't have to experience her father's early death. I was like, damn, like stuff like that, like was like sprinkled throughout the book, and I was like,
yeah,
ah! Yeah,
it was very, very good.
Yeah, this is a book I'm gonna force on people.
100%. I was talking to Lauren. I think we were gaming probably, or we were just chatting, and I asked her if she was reading along the measure with us, and she's like, "No, I didn't buy it. But I definitely want to read it." And I was like, "You can borrow my copy after." And she was like, "Oh," and I feel like that could go either way of like, I hated it and I want you to take it off my hands, or I am forcing you to read this book.
Yeah. I think she would like this book a lot.
Oh, I think she would too.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I don't have anything. This is just so good.
Before we dive into the questions, I think because I have questions and I know you have questions.
Okay.
I know I texted you about this, but I had 3 major parts that I teared up at. So when the woman was leaving flowers and she was like, "Oh, I'm leaving them for Hank. Did you know Hank?" And Ben was there and he was like, "Yeah, he was a really great guy." And she's like, "Oh yeah, he's the reason why I'm alive right now because he was an organ donor and I got his lungs." And I read that and I was like, "Oh my, I'm not going to be able to make it through this." And then she's like, "Yeah, I'm going to start walking. I'm going to start running. I'm going to do a marathon." And I was like, "God damn it." It was so relevant to my life that I was sitting there and I was like, "Okay,
I need to take a break today.
I need to take a break." I'm sitting there and I'm like crying essentially. And it's just so good.
It hit.
And I was just like, that was so like beautifully done.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so good. I can't put into words how I felt, but that's when I was like, I really hope that Danielle liked this book, but I just need to like tell somebody about this and share it. And you were the first person that like obviously knows everything, but but I was just like, I've talked about it before with Danielle, and I think I just need, because Josh wasn't here.
Yeah.
So I'm like crying by myself in my house.
I didn't answer you very well because we try to keep the book. Lately, we've been trying to keep our book, especially the one we're reading for the podcast for ourselves.
Yeah.
And I was like,
well, that's why, because it wasn't anything spoilery. If I wasn't like, "Oh my God, I love this book," I was like, I am just at a part right now that I need to like.
I knew exactly what part you were talking.
And then you didn't answer me, and I was like, well, I don't know if she like. I knew you were probably doing that because you thought I was gonna be like, "I love this book so much."
I know. I was like, I don't want to have her say anything.
No, and it was just a very like heartwarming.
Yeah, that hit hard.
Part of the book.
It went hard.
It definitely smacked me right on my fucking ass.
It said, "I'm gonna hit you real hard today."
2 other major parts. So when we were looking into Amy and Ben's future and they got married and all this stuff, that was just really sweet.
I know what you're gonna fucking say. Go ahead.
The plaque that they have.
Oh.
I'm going there. I am going there. But the plaque that they had, I looked back because I literally read it and I was like, my heart. Because they were pen pals, as we know. They were each other's pen pals. They ended up getting married. And it says, "Dear B, no matter what happens, I still feel the same. A." I literally have goosebumps right now.
Also
I read that and I was like, oh, my heart. And the fact that they got it framed was just.
That's Gertrude's. The letter to Gertrude. What Gertrude's letter said.
No matter what happens, I still feel the same. It was?
Uh-huh.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah, that's what Gertrude's letter, and that's where they started being pen pals, and that's what their major talking point was.
I'll have to go back.
I'm pretty sure that's what.
I believe you.
Yeah.
But.
And that's like. And, okay, you keep going. I'm going to try to find this.
Okay. The last one that I know, that's the part
Wait. What, before you change? Oh, you're going to say this? Okay, go ahead.
Are you sure?
I was just going to say, no, you do your thing and then I'll say it.
Okay. Do you ever have a book that it's so good that you forget about like important parts?
Yeah.
In a way, I guess you'll understand what I'm saying. So as I'm reading Amy and Ben's future, we know that Ben is going to die.
Of course, right.
We know he has a short string. And I was so enveloped in this story that I fucking forgot that Amy didn't look at her box.
Oh, yeah. That's like
I completely forgot. That's a huge thing. And
yeah.
I forgot. So when the car crashed, I was like, oh, wow, like Ben died. And then Nina was like, yeah, they were left with no parents. And I was like, what? Where is Amy? What happened? And then it was like, and then she went and found the box in her closet and she opened it and it was the same length as Ben's. Goosebumps.
Again, goosebumps.
Look
so
at that.
Good. I know my hair is literally raised. It's crazy.
I think I read that Friday night. So again, I'm by myself. Friday night, I'm reading, and I just screamed. I was like, no, she died. Like, it almost.
But, okay, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, you say it.
Okay. It almost was like a beautiful ending, though, because can you imagine if she was like, well, Ben has a short string, and I don't know if I can do that. You missed out on your partner, your soulmate, these kids. You missed out on everything. And then now, obviously at this point, Mara has passed away.
Uh-huh.
So Nina now gets to be a mom when she didn't know if she could even do. And it was,
I know. And then at the end, when she's relaxing, and the guy, the 𝙗𝙝𝙖𝙘𝙧 guy drives past.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's so good.
It was so good. It was
so good.
If our listeners are still at this point and you have not picked up the measure, you need to. This was just like, I was thinking too, science fiction was the first one that we picked out of the hat and we didn't want to read it. Yeah?
This is life telling us that we needed to read this book, yeah.
We needed to read this book, and also I think we were just looking through Goodreads and one of us was like, measure sounds good. Yeah. And this is like a top contender. I could see this being in my top 5 at the end of the year.
It's so good. And like it rounded out so well, and it's like
it really did.
This has like a plot that could go terribly. Like she could have wrote this and it would have been like hot garbage. But she did such a good job. I think the major plot points that like really hit hard for me was when Javier had the prayer card and the thing I read in the beginning, and then Amy and Ben having the same string length, and Hank, they said, okay, I gotta read another quote. It's the part. Oh, there's just so much. Like, we could talk for ages about this book, and we're not going to, but, let's see, where is it? There's a part where I think it's Ben and Mara. Not Ben and Mara. It's, Jack and Mara. And Jack's talking about Javier.
It's right below the highlighted one. I know what one you're talking about. It's right below the highlighted one.
Yeah, so... You know, your friend Javier reminds me of another man I used to know whose string was also much shorter than it should have been. But he and Javier made such differences in their lives. Their impact will be felt for years, even generations. In a way, I think the two of them have the longest strings I've ever seen. I loved that. I was like, and they're the ones who were the ones who died the quickest. And they were the ones, like, Hank was an ER surgeon, so he saved everybody's lives. And, like, he saved Anthony's life, even though Anthony was a dirtbag and he was Hank essentially was fighting against Anthony, what he's
Yep.
pushing, and then he also saved the girl's life with the lungs because he was an organ donor, and oh my gosh, it's just like so
Yep.
much. And okay, one more thing. This is the last thing I'm going to mention. I'm so sorry. But
Don't apologize.
when
It's a
Nina
good book.
and Mara go to Italy and they talk to the woman in the shop about, they ask like, hey, what did you guys in Italy do when this happened? And the woman was like, no one really opened their boxes because we just know that we take our passions first, and like we love food first. We love art first, and we essentially love our family first. We didn't need a box to show us what was important. And I was like, whoa, like, yes. And I loved that. So
I think that's also very accurate to
a lot of countries outside of the United States.
yeah, because I also made a note somewhere. I think maybe I was telling Josh that it was, I want to say it was maybe China or Russia. I can't remember where, but their government took control of their boxes.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That was very accurate. The fact that like Italy, a lot of European countries, they were like, fuck the boxes. Like, I don't really care. And America is like,
we gotta do the
one
boxes.
place-
The boxes.
the one place going insane because we're a bunch of fucking idiots over here. Like,
Psychopaths.
yeah, it tracked very accurately to what I think would happen in the world if this were to happen tomorrow.
I agree. That was one of the questions in the Read with Jenna today's show questions that they had was to think, well, how in today's age, how do you think this would go? And I'm like, it literally would be the same exact
Well, you just
thing.
read the book, did you not?
It's literally the same thing. So
This is exactly what would happen.
I didn't
yes.
include that question because I was like, Morgan and I are going to be like, this is exactly what would happen.
Yeah. Before we dive into the questions, do you want to go over anything else? Because I feel like you and I are going to have the same questions, so we could probably go back and forth. I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 questions.
They're going to probably be the same, so no, I don't.
Okay.
Those are like
Okay.
the only 4. Like when you mentioned your big ones, I was like, okay, I'm going to mention.
Yeah. So I think the obvious question that you and I both have is, if we were to get these strings, would you look at your box? Do you
Fuck.
think that you would look at your box?
Fuck no. Fuck no. No.
Would you look at Mike's box?
No. That's like, okay. No. I would not. Unless he opens his box and invites me to see what's in his box. I'm not going and looking in his box.
So I have a take here. I saying right now, I would say I wouldn't look at my box. Curiosity would get me. 100%. I can't even sit here and say I wouldn't look at my box. I want to say that I wouldn't, but I feel like it would actually eat me alive. I would lose sleep.
See,
But then I'd lose sleep knowing my string, so I'd fuck myself over.
That's so hard for me because, like, yes, I think the curiosity would get a lot of people, and I'm sure it would get me at some point in my life. I think that, like, there would be a certain point in my life, like, I think I got it, I wouldn't essentially open it, and I think I would hold out for a long time. But if something big happens in my life, like, not wishing this to exist, but say, like, gets disease and something happens with him, I would think I would look at my box at that. Like something big happens, or like somebody, like my mom got in an accident or something like that. You know what I mean? Like something happens. I think that point that would push me to look at the box. But
yeah,
it's like the same thing of you get the book of life, your book of your life at your front door. Are you reading it? Not reading that.
I'm a very curious person.
Oh, I want to live my life without restriction. And me having heavy anxiety and being very, very obsessive of future and overthinking and all that stuff, I think if I look at my string, that's going to drive me even more insane.
Yes. So do you think that, on the same question note, do you think the boxes came to your door?
Mm-hmm.
The world doesn't know what they are yet. Do you think you would have then opened it and then you would know what your string, you know what I mean? Like, would curiosity, it'd be like an Amazon box coming to your door. You'd be like, ooh, what did I order? Yeah. And then you open it and you're like, what the fuck is this? This is kind of tiny. Like,
ugh, I know. At that point, I don't know what I would do. But if I knew, like, I almost want to be in Ben's situation where he's flying outside of the girlfriend.
oh, I understand where he like is in the air and when he lands, everybody already knows what they are.
Knows. Yeah, I would almost
Yes.
want to have Ben's situation outside of his girlfriend
Yes, I understand.
exposing his string length because she's a bit. Yeah.
I think she accidentally or found it or something, right? Like it was just sitting there.
Yeah, and she accidentally opened his, but it's just like,
It was already opened, I'm pretty sure.
no, I think she accidentally opened his first
Oh.
and then opened hers.
Oh, because they were living together, right? And so she opened a box. I don't think what she did necessarily was
Meant to
horrible.
be malicious, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think she did it in a malicious way. I think she opened it, realized it wasn't hers, and then panicked. Would you
Yeah.
have like
I would have.
sorry.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So I think that's I empathize why he got mad. I don't think he necessarily had
Yeah,
he did have a right to get mad, but I don't think he had a right to get mad at her because she didn't do it on purpose.
Right. Yeah.
Again, I don't know what I would have done in those shoes if
It's so hard.
it's very weird. But
okay.
you ask one of your questions.
Oh, well, I want to know what you would have done in this. Would you look at your box? Would you not? Especially if it plays out the way.
I said that I probably would.
Okay. I didn't know if
I
you
I think
finished your thoughts
Oh,
thoroughly.
okay. I think right now I would say I don't want it to affect my life. I think I would really I don't know. Everything that you're saying, I 100% agree with because I don't want to live with any restrictions. I don't want to know. I think one night I would just be like, this is eating me alive and I have to know. And I would probably ultimately, maybe not right away, at some point, it would just kill me. It really would. And I would open it.
Yeah. It's like,
'Cause I know myself.
so interesting. Because, like, especially reading through the situations that everyone went through. Like,
Yeah.
you have a long string, life to the fullest, and you have time to travel. But also, like, are you going to lose? Are you going to not be able to pay for certain things? Get life crazy up. Want to spend time with the people that love, but you also have to pay for your life. It's a very interesting thing, and that's why I think I don't think I would box, because I think that I literally so anxious that would have absolutely insane. If I
That's also fair. I think I would probably so on the subject of this, let's say Danielle opens the box. Danielle knows what her string is. You open it. Do you think you would use the website that they created to find out exactly when, like year, whenever they narrowed it down to? I don't remember what, like how exact
I think it's
it was.
still like by the year.
I thought at first it was within like 2 years because they narrowed it down, and then they narrowed it down. They used like comparisons.
By the day.
Yeah.
No.
I don't think I would either.
No. Because within that year,
Panic.
Yeah, panic.
Yep.
Absolute panic. Yeah, I don't think I would use it. There's just
yeah.
already showing you life's too short.
Mm-hmm.
Live it to the fullest and like live your life for your daily, and like I already panic about the future anyway, so it's like gotta live it day by day. Like,
yeah,
you gotta love the beauty already in your outside of when you're gonna die, all this jazz.
I agree with you. I think if I did know my string length, I wouldn't look it up. However, going back to opening the box, I think if I knew I had a short string, depending on how short it was, I think I would want to know that simply because I'd just want to know my string length, not the website. Simply because then I could spend my last whatever time amount doing whatever I want. Like I'm not going to sit if I know I'm dying next year, I am going to quit my job.
Yep.
I'm going to spend time with my loved ones, and I'm going to make sure that like I'm living my life to the fullest. Because I know that I'm dying next year.
Okay, here's another thought. your mom or your dad or Josh has a very short string, are you quitting your job? Even though you have a long string or you don't know. I'm saying yeah.
How short? How short is the string? Like very, very short, or like we don't know?
Don't know.
If it was very, very short, like insinuating that he had or whoever this person is has very, very little time left. If it was Josh, I would quit my job and we would do whatever he wanted to do. If it was a close family member, my dad, Brett, Jamil, I think I wouldn't quit my job, but I would tell my job, listen,
this is happening.
This is happening and I need flexibility because I'm not going to be here. Because ultimately, maybe I sound like an asshole saying this and you can call me out.
Nope, because I think we have the same thought.
Because after, let's say they have a very short string. I love all of my family very much. If after they passed, I would obviously be a wreck. I would need time afterwards. If Josh and I have long strings, we have to then move on with our lives afterwards. If I quit my job and then I kind of like screw myself over in that situation, would I take a lot of time off? Absolutely. To go spend with these people who do have very, very short strings. However, I don't think I would quit my job.
Okay. I think I'm the same way. No, I'm definitely feeling the same way.
Okay.
Although
I felt like such a douchebag saying all of that.
I'm thinking for my mom, it would be a different thing just because I would definitely, my mom had a short, I'm going to say, hang out with my mom for a year. Just because I experienced my mom losing her mom, that was very traumatic.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't even imagine knowing my mom has a year left to live, not around her for at least
to make those memories.
Yeah. So
I think
this book's heavy.
It is very heavy. I think I would leave the spending time with me specifically up to whoever that person was to be like, I think obviously you and your mom, like 100%, I agree with that situation. I know how close you are with your mom. Brett and Jamil, or like even Josh's siblings, I think I would leave that up to them because I know that they would want
their own lives.
They have their own lives and maybe they want to spend, I'm sure they would want to see me. I'm not saying that they would not want to, but I don't think they'd want to see me every single day.
Right, exactly. Like like my mom has Dave and she's madly in love with Dave, so like she's going to want to spend her time with him. But like Jamil has a wife. He's going to want to be with her.
Yeah, he's going to want to, like, these people also are going to want to do their own things. Maybe if my dad knew that he had a year to live, he would pick up and travel.
Yeah.
And maybe that includes me and maybe it doesn't. My dad loves me. I love my dad. We have a good relationship. But like,
you guys are very independent, but you also love each other.
So I think that would it be a similar situation that my dad would want to see me a lot since he knows he only has a year left to live? Absolutely. Would he want to spend every single waking day with me?
Probably not.
We butt heads a lot.
Yeah.
My dad and I are very similar. So I have a video I'll show you of my dad and I trying to put flooring together.
Oh boy.
We're not spending every single day for a year together. I don't think either of us. That might be how my dad dies. He gets his short string.
Why he has the
and then
string.
He's like, I want to spend every day with my daughter. And then he moves in with me and then I kill him. Like, that would probably be what happens. Dad, I love you. We can't spend every single day together. So I think it would really depend. Again, going back. I'll show you that video. Remind me because it's funny.
That's so funny. Oh, man. All right. So that was my first question.
Okay.
And my second question.
We kind of already touched on this, but so you and Mike open your boxes. Hypothetically. How would you respond if he had a short string and you had a long string, or vice versa? This kind of touches, I know, don't roll your eyes at me. This kind of touches on your last question of like, quit your job. What would you do? Like, what do you think it's not like he's dying tomorrow. He has a short
Right.
string, like 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
Do you think how would that affect your relationship? Okay.
I think it would be a lot for me. Mike doesn't show emotion very well, so I don't know how he would react to that. I'm definitely gonna put it up to him what he wants to do, you know?
Is your microphone okay?
Yeah, this thing's just likes to fall.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep that up to him what he wants to do with like his life if he has a short string. But I would hope that I would definitely focus the last year on us, and that would and that comes into Nina's and Mara's plotline. To play like, okay, where do kids come in? Where does marriage come in? Where does the 27 dogs we're gonna eventually get come in? Like, you know, like they live in an apartment. Are they gonna get a house? Like, so it's like that's a whole thing. Like, okay, if you're gonna die within 15 years, am I gonna be in a stable place where I can afford a house by myself? And like, am I gonna be able to take care of a child by myself? Like, it's all these questions, and like that's something, and that's like where communication really comes into play. Like, yes, this is it's a heavy thing, but you also have to like respect how they feel and what they want, and like even though you might want something different. So it's like a lot, but yeah. I don't even know if I answered the question, but fuck it.
No, you did. It's definitely not a straight answer type of question. It's just not.
What would you do?
I think if I was in that, I would definitely, let's say 15 years. Josh has 15 years or I have 15 years. I think then we would probably see, well, depending on who has the shorter string, I think, again, it would be, what do you want to do? If I found out I had a shorter string and I had 15 years, I think I would want to spend that 15 years traveling because I like ultimately want to see the world. I have this like long-term weird goal that I want to like travel the United States in a friggin' RV with the cats.
Yeah,
so
I love that.
I would want to do that. But I also know that if the roles were reversed and Josh had a shorter string, his not bucket list, because that sounds stupid. He wants kids. So I think his ideas would be different. He wants kids. He wants to be a dad. So I think that would then turn into, we would then start like making a family, and then he would have 15 years ultimately. Like, I'm sorry, if he wants kids, we're gonna start sooner rather than later.
We're making babies.
I'm not I don't think I could mentally take care of a small child by myself. I don't think I could do that.
It's hard.
And alone. So like if hypothetically right now he has 15 years, the kid will be a teenager. That'll be traumatic as fuck. But I'll be okay. So.
I'll be fine at that point. Thank you.
No. That's not what I meant. No, I know. You know what I meant, you asshole. I know.
It sounded like that, and that's why it was funny.
I know. It sounded like I would just be totally cool with my husband dying in 15 years, and that's not what I meant. I meant I would think I'd be content with a teenager versus a small child at that point. I would obviously be a wreck if Josh died. Thank you very much.
I feel like at that point, too, like, I think Josh would be like, 15 is a good age to leave Morgan with a child where
I wasn't gonna say it,
but it's
this is the second time I've talked about killing somebody on
Morgan's
stream.
a very delightful human. She would never.
I have a very short fuse and I get with you. I have a very short fuse. I get overstimulated very easily. That's really what it boils down to. So if I am having a rough morning and I'm running around and I have a screaming child, I'm going to have a mental breakdown. Like I'm not going to throw the kid out the window or anything like that, but like I'm going to have a mental breakdown.
Yeah. It's a lot to handle by yourself.
I don't know how single parents do it. I don't. I know myself and I know that I personally could not do that.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeesh. That was another.
I think it's your question. Your turn.
Okay, hold on. Let me read these really quick because we definitely have talked about the first 4 already. We've talked about the first 5.
Okay.
Hold on one second.
I have one that's directed towards the book if you want me to ask that
Yeah,
instead.
go for it.
So, do you think that the strings in the book directly affected the deaths of the short stringers?
No.
Okay, I have an example.
Okay.
Do you think that Hank would have jumped in front of the gun if he didn't know he was already going to die?
Yes.
Or if he did know?
Yes.
Okay,
I
that's
think so.
I mean that's fair. I think also the other one, if the strings didn't come in, Jack and Javier wouldn't have switched places.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And then they'd both be assumed at the same location, and then Jack may have died versus Javier.
Right.
Or if they didn't switch strings, Javier would be in DC, Jack would be out in the battlefield, and then how would Javier have died?
Yeah, how would things place to be? And like, would it have hostages saved?
Yeah, there's that.
Oh,
The couple that jumped off the bridge,
right.
the wife had a short string.
They wouldn't have jumped off the bridge.
They wouldn't have jumped off the bridge, and then ultimately, I mean, maybe she would have died a different way because that just kind of.
Damn, I don't know.
So, like, in Hank's situation, I
think-
have two written down because I knew that you were going to be like, yeah, he probably still would have because it's accurate. He definitely
he's
still would
just
have.
such a good person, and I think that
Yes.
anybody would have done that. Just think that that's his storyline and that's his reality. But the Javier and the Jack situation, though, ooh, I don't know. I think that Javier's death, yes, I think that was meant to be the way it was. But I'm wondering how Jack's storyline would have. That's curious.
Mm-hmm.
I never thought about it that way. That's very curious.
I don't know if any of the others are as, because we don't know how Mara died. Mara.
Amy and Ben might have not ever gone together because they wouldn't have gone to Short Anonymous together. And
Amy just worked at the school.
Exactly. And Mara wouldn't have gone to the meeting, and then that's how ultimately Amy and Ben met because apartments together.
Amy and Ben were in the same car when they died. Their stories would have been totally different. They were going for like a doctor's appointment because Ben had some type of
thing, yeah.
something. So they were going to. So he ultimately probably would have died of whatever he had. We don't know anything about Amy though. Like they just happened to be in the same car and they died.
Right. So that's curious. That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know. For Hank's storyline, yes, I think that would have been.
That's fair.
Who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
That's curious. I like that. It makes you think about like what really happened in this book and like say this is a story about them not having strings and it was just a family drama. I would have fucking hated it.
I only have one more. Oh, I have two more, but we've kind of already touched basically on one of them.
Yeah,
so.
I think my questions but I'm gonna read.
Okay. If you were not with Mike, you were single.
Okay, I know where this question's.
You have a long string. Would you date somebody with a short string? Or vice versa. If you had a short string, would you want to date another short string person or would you want to date or would you not have a preference? I mean, that's also possible.
That's curious. I
Because
want to
if they
say I would date a short string person, but I also know how I am and I think that would stress me the fuck out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, because I know in this instance I'll like maybe bag, but I'm the person who likes plan things. I like to know that I'm in comfortable situations. Dating somebody and having a future who has really would stress me the fuck out, so I probably wouldn't.
What if you knew they had 15 years?
That
and you met them now, where you're at in your life?
That changes. I would.
So I think it depends on the, like if they had a short string and they knew that they were going to die next year.
Whoa, couldn't handle that.
I don't know if I could handle that either. But then in a similar situation, you're looking for someone to spend your last year with and everybody's like, yeah, I can't mentally do it.
That really hurts. Yeah, it's so much. Like I don't want somebody to hurt me like that, and I don't want to hurt somebody else like that. Ugh. Ew. Hate it.
It's a very interesting concept. It really is.
Yeah. But from that point of view, I'm not opening my box. So if I'm not opening my box and I don't know what my string is, I would date short stringers and long stringers. That changes
Fair.
it for me. If I knew
That's
what
fair.
my string length is, I think I would know. I would be more cautious.
That's fair. My last question is, if you knew that you had a long string, so you know you're not dying for a while, if you could pick one reckless thing to do that you know you're going to survive, essentially, do you have something that, like, skydiving? It doesn't have to be like hard fucking drugs, but or it could be. I mean, if you're like, well, always wanted to try it.
What's your answer? I'm curious.
I think at the moment, because I didn't really have I typed it as we were recording.
Yeah.
My basic answer would probably be like skydiving or bungee jumping or something like that. If I had to think about it more, I'm sure I'd give a different answer.
Yeah, I don't know what I would. That's a curious.
Yeah.
The first thing that comes to mind is like swimming with sharks type deal, like doing something like that. Or like, oh, you know what I'd want to do? I'd want to do the river rapids. Like the
river rapids.
Yeah, like when
You're
you're
in a
on
tube?
a boat, you're on a boat with other people and going down a raging river, and you like try to go down. That's like super dangerous. People die a lot on those things. That's something I would try. Or I would hike Mount Everest. Do something crazy like that.
Ooh,
do like a big hike.
That's a good one.
Yeah, do like a dangerous big hike like that. Knowing that I would survive something like that. Might get hurt, but I'm gonna survive.
That's the other thing. You might get hurt. You might be paralyzed. You might lose limbs. You might be in a coma. I mean, if you...
Yeah, I think that's something I would want to do. I'd want to do like a big hike. A lot, and like one that people... I would prepare myself for it, but I would do it. That's something. That's the first
That's
thing.
A good one.
Yeah.
Just because I don't want to take any more time up, I think my answer is going to be no. Because
we've been talking a lot about this book, but
we have been talking a lot. I think I'm just going to stay safe for right now and say skydiving. Think about my answer, and then when I post my review, I'll share my answer.
Ooh, yeah, I like that.
Unless, I mean, it could still be skydiving, but who knows?
Okay. This is my one question that I have, and it's not really a long one. It says, so you receive your boxes. I think that's a bit young to be offered to. So Mike and I had this conversation. Kind of relates to kind of and not.
Okay.
It's like life path kind of deal. So Mike and I were having this conversation, and I was like, if you started college and like did your degree in life, what do you think? Like, you're doing college now.
Mm-hmm.
What would you want to do? And he said, I would not even go to college and try to be a YouTuber. Like I said, no, this was the question. Was if you went back in life, did call your life path, knowing what you know now, what would you do? I think I would do something else on top of that. Do like plumbing, electrician. And I said, okay, I would be a veterinarian. Yeah. And then, so it's like okay, are we going to college too? I know it's not the same type of deal because this is literally life or death, but like.
No, but I think that's definitely a good question. I think, because what age do you go to college? 18?
You go to college,
17?
18, yeah. Depending on how you.
What,
You know what I mean? Because like right now, knowing what you know, would you do a different degree?
But then if you think about it, so college, let's say you're going for 4 years, like a normal bachelor's, you're going for 4. If you start that at 18,
Yeah.
You're out when you're 22. If you start that at 25, you're not done with college until you're almost 30.
That's fair.
And then getting into like a bunch of different things that way. If that wasn't a factor, I definitely think we're being forced to choose because specifically at 𝙬𝙝𝙖𝙣𝙬𝙚, know a lot of people that were like switching majors and being like, I don't know if this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And you fucking are paying $40,000 a year to not know what you want to
do. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Some people don't know what they want to do until they're 30. Some people don't know what they want to do at 18. Like,
yeah, it's a lot.
Some people change, move, like, unless we had a different setup of like, okay, 18, you go into like, not necessarily like a BOCES program, but like you get to test out everything. You get to kind of like, okay, I know at my high school, we did something specific where a lot of the like juniors and seniors traveled to BOCES. You had a list of everything they offered and you spent the day trying out a couple different things to kind of see what you wanted to do. They only had certain things. Like I think I tried the photography one, like computers. Like it wasn't as in depth as what it could be, but if we expanded on that and they had all these different careers and you spent a year, 2 years dipping your feet into these ones and then you go to college after that.
Yeah, that's what like Mike and I were saying. What if you took those first 2 years after, or first year or two high school and that for getting money at like odd jobs, but also figuring out your life and then going to college.
Mm-hmm.
That could change like drastically. But I like the way you said it. That's interesting.
Yeah, I just remember doing that, but again, they had like not very many big options, really. Yeah. But if there was like some program that was free, essentially, or like some like not $40,000, where you could go and like test out different things, where it has like plumbing and electricity, it has all these everything. Or there's different programs like that act as colleges, so you go and live there, but you're not paying a huge amount of money.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. I think that I still love like criminal justice, so I don't know if I would be too different, but I also really loved like science stuff at 𝙬𝙗𝙬𝙗.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I would have done something trying more science things. I love science. I think it's so interesting. I
loved biology for some weird reason. Science in high school did not like wires were not connecting upstairs. And so I went there and I was like, oh, I have to take this biology course. So I signed up with a friend just to be like, we'll take the same class. And then I ended up being a tutor in that class. And I was like, am I smart? You want to know what? I took that biology class my senior year.
Yeah.
So I didn't even have any time to even think about. Obviously, I still love criminal justice. I love all the courses that I took and the experience that I got. But if I had known how easy it was, how biology like clicked, I don't know what it was. It clicked. Mm-hmm. I could be doing something totally different, making a fuck ton more money too.
So with that sense, do we let younger, like say, do we let 18-year-olds open their boxes so that they have more time? So
no. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. I was stupid at 18.
Fair. Also same.
I don't necessarily think I was much smarter at 22.
Right.
But maybe I would say if we moved it, I would say maybe 25. But then 25 I think is a good age because assumed you have your shit a little bit together. Like, you doesn't have to be totally together, but maybe you kind of know what you want to do. You're starting to get into that field. You're meeting your partner.
Your shit together a little bit.
A little bit. Not entirely. Definitely not entirely, but you have it a little bit together. A little bit more than you do at 22. At 22, I was not making good choices.
No, that's not. Same.
So I think that's where. I
Same.
would
That's
say
where my head's
25
at.
is a good. 25 is good.
Yeah.
That's a good question, though.
Got it from.
Good. It was a good question. I enjoyed.
Cool. All the rest of the questions were like the same. I already talked about it.
Okay. Anything else you want to add to this book other than bullying people to buy it?
No. That's literally what I was gonna say. If you didn't say that, I was gonna say y'all should read this book. It's so good.
I'm glad I bought it.
Me too. I'm so happy I bought it.
Okay. Well, with that, do we want to pick or do we want to shout out first? I forgot the order that we do it in. I think we shout out first.
Yeah, I think we shout out first.
Do you want to do it? You want me to do it?
You can do it.
Did you say me?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I just didn't hear you said. So, this Bookstagrammer of the month is actually somebody that Danielle and I are very good friends with. In real life and on Bookstagram and in the gaming community. Like, she's great. We are shouting out our friend Lauren. We recently bullied her into getting a Bookstagram. She's new to the Bookstagram community. She is really sweet. She's literally texting me right now about House Across the Lake, so she's reading it as we're speaking. But yeah, I met Lauren actually through my husband. She is dating one of Josh's really good friends. So then Josh was like, oh, Al's girlfriend is a reader. You guys, and one day, I don't remember like what day, but Josh and Al would go golfing together. So Lauren will come out and she would just bring books and we would sit in silence and read all day. And it's like the best company, as you know, like we've done that before. But we'll just sit in silence. And then one day out of the blue, I was like, Lauren, are you into gaming? And then she was like, yeah, like I didn't realize she was into gaming until I asked her. And this is back. I mean, I'm still obsessed with Dead by Daylight, we know. But I was like, oh my God, you have to try this like game we should play. And she's like, oh yeah, I own that game. I play all the time. And now every Sunday we play Dead by Daylight together and we text each other all the time about books, about fucking Dead by Daylight, about books and Dead by Daylight.
She's the best though. Lauren
She really
is
is
the best. Also, fun fact, and we're crossing our T's and stuff. She did not hate the lessons in chemistry. I spread fake news into the world.
Oh yes, you did. You did. That was a text. That was a group text that we got after last episode.
She loved it, and this might be a future for.
Maybe. We'll see. But if you are not following our friend Lauren, definitely go give her a follow. Her @ is laurens.perpetual.tbr. So LAURENS.PERPETUAL.TBR.
Boom! Crushed it.
God, that was a lot.
You can find
for
the
me.
link.
Yes. And I will shout her out not at the end of the month. So sorry, Mariah. I really forgot. I texted, because I texted her after we recorded and I was like, guess what? We shouted you out for the pod. So later this month, I'm going to reach out to you. I'm going to need a picture and I'm going to ask you questions. And she's like, okay, cool. Month got away from me. And like 2 weeks ago, I was like, fuck. Well, I was actually looking at the pod page and I was like, Cate wasn't the last person that we shouted out. Why is Cate the only one on there? And I was like,
okay.
I texted her. I was like, I'm so sorry. I forgot. I need all these questions answered today. Okay, thanks. So I will not forget this time. But yes, please go give our friend Lauren a follow. She's great. We love her. And yeah.
Woohoo! Yeah, Lauren.
So
Lauren, the measure is going to be in your.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. My whole desk is shaking. I'm scared. Jinx, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
Ah!
Oh, God. Tell me when. Tell me when.
No, you fucking pick.
Okay. All right.
This is our fate.
This is our fate. You can keep all of this in.
Yeah, no, I'm going to.
All right. All right. Our fate is in my hand. It is in my hand. Are we ready?
I am ready.
Are we ready?
I'm
Are we
ready.
ready?
I'm so ready.
Fiction.
Oh, okay. So like
Okay.
contemporary fiction, literary fiction.
Could be anything.
Ah,
That opens up a lot.
that opens a whole.
So the next genre is going to be fiction. We'll decide what we're gonna do. I don't know if we'll post options to vote on or if we just decide between the two of us.
So,
Okay. What?
Book of the Month comes out soon.
Oh yes. Okay, so we could pick
So
something.
one of those options.
Also true. Yes. So we'll figure it out.
Well, we usually communicate between each other, and then we pick four, and then we'll have a vote.
Or you and I can just pick one. Book of the Month will come out this week, so we can post what our next read is next Monday.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's see what the options for are.
Okay.
And then
Okay. So
I
next one is gonna be
already have-
fiction.
I think an idea in my mind. I gotta look it up though.
Okay.
I don't think you're gonna like it, but
That's okay.
I don't think it is, but
My Goodreads is not working, so
yeah, that happens every time we record, which is strange.
yeah, I don't know.
Oh, it's contemporary fiction. Okay, cool. And I have an
Interesting.
idea. Okay, cool. Cool.
All right. Anything else you want to share before we end?
No, but be sure to pay attention in August because we have a special episode that we're going to be dropping where we interview Margarita Montour.
Yes, I'm very excited.
It's going to be good.
It is going to be good. Anything
be
else you want to add?
No. Read the measure.
Yes, read the measure. I agree. Where can they find you, Danielle?
Find me on Instagram at Dani, DANI, Allreads, ALLREADS.
Beautiful.
Where can they find you?
You can find me at _bookmorgs_.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Woohoo!
And what has this been?
This has been
Boozed
and
reviewed.
Hey,
Beautiful.
that's the first
We
time
did
we've
it.
ever done that. Yeah,
I know. That's great.
High five.
High five.
Let's go. Thanks everybody for listening.
Thanks
We'll
for
see
listening.
ya in the next book,
September 1st.
September 1st or August sometime.
Oh, yeah. August sometime.
Curious. Bye.
Bye.